who I want to hear from right now? I want to hear Daniel stand on the table for your guy.
Who's my guy?
You didn't do it last time.
That's the question, Daniel.
Bring it, Daniel. Bring it. Bring it.
Let's go. Scroll down.
Keon Coleman. Oh,
I want to hear you
let's do it. We can have
that conversation. Let's do it.
So Keon Coleman.
Let's talk about the biggest potential wide receiver in the draft.
I disagree, man. Listen,
go ahead.
Keon Coleman. The thing with him is you are betting on him to be your new number one wide receiver.
In the house.
Not necessarily the house, I would say. I mean, it is a second round pick. It is a high pick, but at the end of the day, when you look at Keon Coleman, what can he potentially become? I think the dude can be a number one wide receiver on a starting team. I think he can be that big body guy. You look at a guy like T. Higgins. You look at these other big body wide receivers.
It might be the 5% outcome, though.
But listen, when you turn on the film and when you actually watch Keon Coleman, I see a dude who can high point the ball. I see a dude who has athletic ability, and people can look at the 40-yard dash time and say he sucked. Well, what did he do right after that? The wide receiver drill. He was one of the fastest wide receivers.
That's the tough part, man.
An actual, a real
football setting.
So when I look at a guy like Keon Coleman, he wasn't the most productive of the wide receivers in the class. I'm betting on potential. I'm betting on his size. I'm betting on his ability to high point a ball. I'm betting on his ability. I saw agility. I saw him be able to break tackles. I saw him be able to run different routes. So maybe
you saw him run different routes.
I saw his ability. He did not run different routes, but I also look at
there we go.
I also look at Florida
State.
State. Florida State had Johnny Wilson. Florida State had Jaheim Bell. Florida State had Trey Benson. Florida State
is not a good case. If you're telling me he's so good, but he just couldn't take targets away from Johnny Wilson, that's not a guy I'm picking in the second round, right? I'm taking a guy who just doesn't have the elite first round traits, right? A guy who has a complete profile, but maybe just one question mark, like a Ladd McConkey, right? So here's my problem with Keon Coleman. Obviously, like you said, he's big. He's a jump ball merchant. The 40 time, don't have a problem with, right? Because when you adjust for his height, his weight, that's fine. When you're talking about like yards after the catch, right? He was like 60th percentile. You say yes, I agree. After the catch, he is a better athlete than you would expect for a guy his size. I don't know if he's necessarily a great one after the catch. I think he was the best player Florida State had to throw 30 fucking screens to. Okay, so here's the other problems, right? Yards per target. He ranked 37th out of 39 of the draft eligible wide receivers. Yards per route run, 75th out of 109 receivers. Like you said, not productive. These are all red flags that don't scream second round prospect. And I'm not even done yet. 47th in percentile separation versus single coverage. So you're telling me all I can do is curls and back shoulders with this guy?
I don't think so. And
okay,
that's where,
and screens. But are you taking the guy that you can do back shoulders and screens and curls with in the second round?
I will say
real quick. The thing when I look at it is like, I look at a guy like T. Higgins. And I truly don't think – I think Keon Coleman could replace the
You and I see him the same, but you are doing a large degree of projection that you feel comfortable with that I do not, because I am a fifth of the way through my list here. Out of 34 qualifying receivers for the draft, second worst success rate per target, and third worst in EPA per route. 55th percentile when you adjust for his age. When you say, hey, you're young, let's go ahead and just account for that. 55th percentile, second worst yards per route out of 26 qualifying receivers, 19th percentile success versus press. You're 6'3". Why are you only getting off press 1 in every 5 times? Nearly 70% of his targets came on screens, goes, and hitches.
But that's for me when I look at a lot of that as the result of the Florida State offense. Respectfully, like Jordan Travis was fine.
And he got hurt.
I just look at the receivers.
I'm not saying Jordan Travis is good. I'm just saying you got to show me more if you want me to take you in the second round. In the third round, I'll take that.
And that's a completely different conversation. The way I look at this, honestly, if we're looking at the Bengals, who would they draft in this spot? We haven't even gotten to the other prospects, guys. I'm just letting you guys know there are very good prospects still on the board. But when I look at these receivers,
Malik's just trying to start shit.
Who's a guy that I would take? I think I love Roman Wilson. He would be more of your slot guy. I love him, as an Amon-Ra St. Brown guy. I like Ricky Pearsall, but if it was me and I was drafting somebody, I'm looking at Roman Wilson. I like Jermaine Burton as a very productive wide receiver. He's a guy that gives me the most upside, in my opinion.